Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Hermitcraft. Last time we built this glorious house you see around me here, and today we're going to be building some other stuff around the area and around the world. But first, we have important things to attend to, and that, of course, is the mail. That's right. We want to check our mail. I'm hoping that Asuma has sent us the 2,500 diamond trophy, so we're going to just blast on out of our house via our player launcher, just like this, and float on in to the fireworks factory. There we go. Right on through here, and here we are at the mailbox. Nice. All right, let's see. We do have some mail. Wow, we have a lot of mail. A lot of empty boxes. Great. And don't forget payment. Oh, did I actually forget to put in the diamond block? Don't forget payment. 2,500 diamond trophy is ours, though, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Beautiful. Magnificent. It has a little diamond in there. 2,500. Beautiful. Okay. That is fantastic. So our trophy has arrived, but we do have to pay Asuma. So let's quickly do that. We'll just say payment for trophy. Thanks. Come. There we go. We'll put this in here. Bada bing. Bada boom. Okay. And then we're going to ship. Make sure I got the right one in there. This guy off to Mr. Asuma of the Void. And go. Alright, there we go. Very nice. Anvil only was used once and is already chipped. That's not good. It's kind of unlucky, actually. But we got the trophy. And you know what would be cool to do here, guys? We have this little area right here next to our bed. Wouldn't it be cool if we had like a little trophy display case here? With maybe the trophies we got from Asuma. We got a 2,500, we got a 1,000 diamond, and we got a 100 diamond trophy from Asuma. So maybe we just bust this out, right? Because there is a little bit of space back here, which we're not currently utilizing. So maybe we just bust this out. We bring this back like this. And we could put down some item frames. 1, 2, 3 like that. We put the 100 diamond trophy, the 1,000 diamond trophy, and the 2,500 diamond trophy like that. And maybe we move this over a little bit. These are, by the way, just custom textured items via resource pack that we have on Hermitcraft. Maybe it would be better if this was like over here. 2,500 in the middle. Is that better? I feel like that's a little bit better. You know, we could put something like diamond blocks in the back of this, just to sort of differentiate this and make it stand out a bit from the rest of the staircase here. So maybe if we did like this, this could be kind of cool. Let's just see how it looks. I feel like there needs to be like lighting in the back somehow. Maybe if we get glow lichen too, put it in the back. Let's get some of these. See how this looks. I think we can also, yeah, fit it in here. Yeah, that fits in really nicely. So with that now done, let's now talk about something we've also been doing on the Hermitcraft server recently for the last couple of weeks. Over the last month, we've held a competition at our Labyrinth minigame that we spent a few weeks making. And recently, a month has passed since we opened it, and that is the cutoff for when the competition ends. So we have a special package for the winner, so we're going to head on down this way, bounce on the slime block, head to the nether, and out to the labyrinth, where we're going to meet the winner of our month-long labyrinth speedrunning competition.
Hello.
Hello, Pearl. Welcome.
How's it going, Cub?
It's going well. It's going very well.
I recognize this place 4 times over.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. The ending of the labyrinth, and I called you here, Pearl, because you did it. You did it.
I did it.
Congrats.
I did it. I won it.
You won it the fastest time by a lot, too. By a lot. You had a blazing fast time.
I'm actually quite proud of it, I'm not going to lie.
34:04? Are you kidding me? That's insane.
Yeah, I got that one today. I was just like, I'm just going to try again, try and maximize things a little bit, and that's where I'm leaving it. I'm happy.
That is a great time, Pearl. And for that, you get a pretty great prize. Take a look. Take a look.
Oh my gosh.
Got the labyrinth.
Oh, it's special. It says labyrinth core on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Look at all the honeycomb blocks. Oh my word. So now I can make my own parkour. Is this what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah. It's to remind you of your time in the labyrinth, all the honey blocks and the deep slate and stuff. So yeah,
Oh,
there you go.
It's wonderful. I love room. No, it genuinely, Cub. It was absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for this. Honestly, I don't actually need a core, so seeing as there's only one other person here, I'm probably gonna make him do something for it. But,
Okay, yeah.
regardless, thank you so much, Cub. You did a fantastic job with the labyrinth. It was challenging, but not excruciatingly painful challenging. Like it was good. It was good. So
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Well, thanks for playing, and congrats again, Pearl. Congrats again.
Of course. Thank you, Cub.
And just so everyone knows, the labyrinth will remain open for the remainder of the season, and I'll try to keep it stocked just in case anybody wants to have a go at it themselves. So, yeah, that is pretty cool. But let's get back to the base. So, I want to upgrade our launcher this time around. So, right now we have a 4-dispenser wind charge player launcher, which launches us out the top of the building and can do so pretty consistently. However, I would like to have a more powerful system. And luckily, a wizard in the comments last time, Dandolf, is his name Dandolf? Let me see. What is it? Dandolf the Wizard. Yes, instead of Gandalf, this is Dandolf. So I guess cousin of Gandalf. But Dandolf left a comment that said, if you use 8 dispensers like this, and let's just go ahead and hop out like so, and then you get a decorated pot. So one of these in here, one of these guys, get a decorated pot. This will actually launch you significantly higher than basically anything else. So let's just try this out. So let's just get some wind charges. We'll put this in here. And this guy in here. And then we put the pressure plate on top of the decorated pot. And oh my. So the decorated pots were pretty cool. However, they send objects flying all the time, and you always have to have a decorated pot because the bricks, you know, go flying everywhere, and it's not really repeatable. But I did my own testing and found out that composters work just as well as the decorated pots, and you can also put pressure plates on composters. So check this out. If we got everything, make sure everything is set. Watch this, watch this. First of all, instant teleportation to the 2nd floor, which is kind of cool. But look at this! Look at this! 220, roughly. 214 in height. That is crazy high. Before we're going to like 140. This is like an improvement of like 70, 80 blocks. Which is not only an improvement over the previous design, but also an improvement over like per wind charge. So like not only do you get like you have more wind charges with like 8 in total down here, but you also you also get like more height per wind charge, which is crazy. So I think we go with this. This is just insane. Look at this. 200 blocks into the air. We start at 92. We go to 220. All right, the craziest thing, check this out. If we get some more wind charges out, let's just go down here. The craziest thing about this is if we go ahead and put in some more wind charges here, because we're going to need a few more to test this out a little bit more. But let's say we want to go up to our storage, right? We're on the 1st floor now. So let's go to our storage. Bam, we're there. Yes, it's glorious. It works really good as a teleporter. So you just hold forward, and you just instantly teleport to the 2nd floor because you hit your head on this stair since you're holding forward. And then if you don't hold forward, obviously, you usually launch upward. It is a little bit more powerful, so it's a little bit less consistent, but I think the actual... Yeah, that one was not very good. That one was not very good. Let's just see if we can we get it? Oh my god. Okay, well, shoot. Maybe we need something else. Alright, everybody, so here's the final design for the 2nd floor portion of this. Basically, I got rid of the end rods and the stairs on top here because due to the bottom stairs, that created inconsistency with launching out of the entire house. But with those gone and those replaced with full blocks, the extra half block here actually makes a huge difference in the consistency here. So if I come down here, drop in, You can see now it launches just straight out. And it does that much more consistently than before. And that's because you have to have these guide blocks here. Usually 2 or 3 guide blocks, depending on how fast you're going. But we needed fewer with the lower speed like we had before. But now with these, we have to have the extra 3 to basically hit our body against so that we align with the exit point on the roof. So that's why we needed those. We still can do like a quick, I guess like entry point thing. Like if we just sprint here forward. So we still can do that, which is arguably quick, but it's still not as cool as like the insta teleport. But I think that's a worthy sacrifice just to have it so that it's more consistent than it was before. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to stay with from now on. So yeah, with that, I think our upgrade to our super player launcher is now completed. So let's move on to something new. At this point, I want to switch gears and talk about what we're going to put around the base. Namely, like what we want to put in the area behind me here on the skulk. And I've talked previously a little bit about this in terms of the crystalline structure, but I've been thinking on this for quite some time now and doing some research onto like how real world minerals form and how like what sort of structures they create when they form. And so we're not going to do sort of like a traditional, like straight up tower like this for any of the minerals. But instead, I want to pick the best looking minerals and make like realistic-ish type of things with them. So here's what I'm doing. So basically, we're going to have 3 types of crystals. Okay, we're going to have cube-based crystals, we're going to have dendritic crystals, and we're going to have radial crystals. So the cube crystals are going to be the redstone. So it's going to have kind of this shape, but we're going to have basically every redstone block or every redstone tower, if you will, sort of be in like a 2x2 block form. So like this will be like the core mineral. And then from here, we'll have like another 2x2 like this. So like there's a 2x2 here and then a 2x2 here. And then we can continue this sort of pattern. So maybe there's like a 2x2 that's like here. And let's say there's one up here. Not there. Up here. 2x2. And then let's say there's another one like right next to it that's a 2x2. And then let's say there's one on top that's also a 2x2 like this. And let's say there's one that's on the edge here that's a 2x2. Formed from this. Let's say like that type of structure. So we're going to make structures like this with 2x2 sort of cubes making up the general form of the structure. And then we're going to cover all this with skulk like that. I think that would be really, really cool. So this is going to be our primary building block for this entire area. Now, we also want to have some dendritic diamond crystals. So what I mean by dendritic crystals is that they sort of branch out and they sort of like go everywhere. I want it to look sort of like bismuth, if you guys have ever seen that, where it's sort of, you know, maybe it has like a 1x1 thing and then it goes this way a little bit and it comes this way, comes out. And so it's going to go like every which way basically. So something similar to this, and then maybe we'll have like another one that comes out this way. Goes up here, maybe this comes over this way, like this, comes up, comes out, maybe this one turns here and goes for a little bit, and turns this way, and goes like this, something like this, like a just sort of a crazy like geometric shape that sort of folds back in on itself, a little bit like this, but not quite. This is maybe a little bit too much, like going east-west here, but you get sort of the idea, hopefully. This is going to be the dendritic crystals with the diamond blocks. And again, we're going to have these. These will also be covered with, you know, the skull veins and such, because that's going to look really cool. And then the radial blocks are going to be gold blocks. These are going to be sort of in a lattice pattern. So like, when I'm talking about lattice here, I'm talking about like this type of pattern. Right, so let's say this is our lattice, right? And then we're going to build these up so that it's not like radially going in and out, but instead it's going to be like, this will be the tallest block right here. Second tallest block will be like this. Third tallest, we'll maybe have like some variation in there. You know, build these up a bit. Maybe that's only 1. That's 2. That's 4. Maybe we'll have another one here, as it sort of tapers off a little bit. And so that is kind of what I'm thinking for this. Something like this, where there's like a little collection of crystals. And again, this will all be covered in skulk and stuff. So I think that will be really, really nice. We'll also put in a couple of block variations. So like we might have some nether wart blocks in this, maybe some copper or prismarine blocks in the diamond. And then I'm thinking maybe glowstone for the gold as like a block variation. So it's just not only raw gold. There's like some little bits and pieces in there as well. And so in addition to these 3, so these are going to be the primary 3 ore types we're using here. In addition to this, we want to have like some volcanic dike-esque structures of amethyst, because we already have amethyst here, and it makes sense that like amethyst would be like crisscrossing the area throughout the entire region. So like what I'm thinking when I say volcanic dikes, I'll show you a picture of an actual volcanic dike right here. So instead of giving you guys just a photo, I want to give you guys sort of an interactive look at a actual dike in the real world. So we're high above the United States here. We're actually in Google Earth right now, which anybody can access if you have an internet connection. So we're going to now zoom into Colorado in the center here. And we're going to go specifically to a place called West Spanish Peak, which has particularly good examples of dikes near the mountain. So you'll notice here's the mountain itself. And if we go just north of that, you'll see a couple of things. Namely that there's a couple of different road networks and things, and you'll also see this line leading directly north from the mountain. Now, you might initially think this is a road, but instead, if we look closer, it is actually a bunch of rock, as you can see here. So what's happened here is this hardened rock came out of the ground millions of years ago as magma, cooled in place, and because it's actually harder than the surrounding rock, and all the other surrounding rock has been sort of, worn away over the millions of years, it's basically the rock left standing. And so if we go now into 3D mode, you can see, just so happens that right along this ridge where the rock is, that is actually, let me just tilt it, or get the heading going a little bit differently. Yeah, you can see that is where the actual like dike is. So you can actually see how prominent it is. It just sticks out of the middle of the ground, basically. And it's just a bunch of rock that just sticks out. And it just goes on and on for a couple miles. It goes underneath the ground, comes back up, underneath the ground, comes back up. Apparently there's a big wall right there. But yeah, it just sort of goes along here, and is sort of a prominent thing that sticks out of the ground, which is really, really cool, actually. So that's what I'm talking about when I say we're making a volcanic dike. It's just basically a protrusion of ground that is quite distinct from the surrounding ground because it's made of a harder and different material than the surrounding area. And this mountain, by the way, if you want to see even more, is quite a treasure trove of these things, especially like over here. You can see there's quite a few that just sort of stick out of the ground here. If I switch around the heading, depending on which angle you view it from, I think this angle is probably the best angle. Yeah, you can see these giant ones sticking out of the ground. And if you want to get a sense of scale for how this like is in reality, in like real life, like a real life image of it, I think this is a decent example here. But I think there is right here, we should be able to, if we're lucky and there's street view on this road. Yeah, let's go. And we look around. Yeah, look at that. That gives you a sense of the scale, how big these things can get. Let's actually go down the road a bit here and see if we can see it from a little bit of a distance. But yeah, look at that. Isn't that cool? And then it sort of dips down underground here a little bit. But yeah, that is the sort of dike here that sort of goes along the area here. So that's basically what I mean by volcanic dike. So I'm thinking like something like this type of thing, right? Where it comes here, and then it comes down a little bit, and then maybe it goes in a certain direction, and then goes back underground like this. So like this type of thing, this type of structure, like with these curves and things, and then it's sort of like, built up, and then it goes back down, all throughout the entire area. And these will not be covered with skulk because what I'm going with here is that the amethyst is sort of like the one mineral, like not like the redstone or the diamond or the gold, but the amethyst, in my mind, is sort of like the one mineral that sort of can supersede or can overcome the skulk itself. Because there is a reason for this, because we can actually put in around this area, wait for it, yeah, some calibrated skulk sensors. And as you can see, the amethyst is like within the skulk in this case. So like it doesn't make sense that the skulk would be growing on the amethyst because it actually is like part of the amethyst in some instances. We can put these around here and this will help to integrate the amethyst with the skulk. And yeah, will also help the amethyst like stick out a bit more prominently from the other mineral types. So hopefully that made sense. A lot of big words there, a lot of geology terms, but I've looked into this a lot and I'm really excited to see how this turns out. So let me just grab this back. And yeah, we're going to get started on this area. Should be a pretty cool area, I think, but I just want to start off kind of small and have, yeah, a little bit of like a look of how it's going to be. So we're going to work primarily over here in this area and see how things turn out. Alright guys, so we've made sort of a mini area of what I'm hoping the whole area eventually turns into. So we got this redstone crystalline structure of 2x2 redstone cubes. Also, we mixed in some nether wart blocks. And I thought since we have these cubes or these crystals of redstone, might make sense to also put in like some redstone that is like the crystals like a sort of grow. So I thought maybe some redstone dust down here would be good. So we have a bunch of redstone dust here, which actually looks kind of cool. It looks sort of like a little cityscape circuit board type thing on the ground here, which I think is kind of a cool feel. So I decided to keep it, and we put a bunch of like little redstone dust around here. Don't think this should cause too much of an issue because the redstone is, you know, not being updated ever basically. And we also use the redstone sort of in a secondary sense to lock these calibrated skulk sensors so they don't make too much noise. You see if I place down like a dust here, yeah, this one will play when it breaks, that one plays when it is placed down. So yeah, that basically prevents these from constantly chiming, constantly making noise when I walk around here, for instance. So that's a really good secondary feature of the redstone here. Now we also have the volcanic dike amethyst bits. You can see it sort of like meanders its way through here and then comes down this way and then sort of curves back this way, goes over here, dips underground here, then pops up back here. And I'm kind of thinking, well, I'll probably continue it by like it goes under the pathway here and then pops back up over here somewhere. I think that could be like a really good like way to do it. So like it pops back up like here, for instance, and then just comes this way or something, right, like that. So that could be really cool. So just trying to think of like how exactly this would all go. So yeah, stuff like that is what I'm trying to like weave throughout the base. Then I got some good examples of what I'm thinking about for the dendritic diamond crystal. So right here, just a very odd, very strange structure. You can see I also, in addition to the diamond blocks, put in some prismarine here and then some oxidized copper, which I think fit in a little bit nicely. They both, you know, complement the diamond nicely, as does the warp nilium we put on the ground. So I'm thinking we're going to put in some warp nilium spots underneath this just because it goes well with the color of the diamond here. And also the prismarine, actually, and the copper. So it just complements that quite nicely. So we're just going to put that back like that. Then the gold here, this is the radial one. So you can see, again, it's sort of radial, like it's highest at here. And then it sort of like falls off radially from the center there. And then we have the glowstone in there in addition to the raw gold. So I think it looks really cool. I'm thinking this could be really, really nice. And I'm kind of debating right now, the only thing I'm really debating is if I want to sort of concentrate these amethyst buds like along where this amethyst volcanic dike type thing would go. Because like you can sort of imagine if this went like this and then back here, if we had amethyst on the surface, sort of following that track, not exactly obviously, but like a more than normal here, it could be kind of cool to like follow the whole thing throughout the entire base, you know? I don't know. That's sort of what I'm debating here, but that's where we're at right now. I'm going to keep adding to things, and I'm also going to go buy some skulk and things from Ren so we can expand the skulk and spread the skulk nearby. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it an episode for today. Putting a lot more crystals in here soon and also skulkifying the area. Also, just want to say a big thank you to everybody who left comments last time about the 3rd floor. Read all of your comments, and there were many, many great ideas in there. I just got to see which ones I think would be the greatest. So, yeah, going to take a little bit of time for that. But for now, that is it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Cub. Goodbye.